Hi, Sammy here with our tarot astrology reading. Welcome to Scorpio season. And it's kind of funny because I've got a flying friend here. I had just started, welcome. I had just started the live, and welcome. And I have this really special crystal that is sitting on top of the cards. And when I reached in, it made quite a loud sound against the bowl, and I was like, okay, that's not how we're gonna start this live, with a loud surprising noise. So we're restarting it again, and I think that's a really good practice of something we could do during Scorpio season, because it's all about transformation and embracing our ability to transform and change things, and not just accept things as they are if they're things that we can change and make nicer. So here we are. What we'll do is we'll start by listening to the sound bowl, take a few deep breaths together, and then we'll chant this sound Om, or we'll say Om Mani Padme Hum, talking about the divine lotus flower, and basically the true nature of ourselves in the universe. And then after that, I'll talk a little bit about the stars in the sky right now, and then from there we'll pull 3 tarot cards. So it should be very nice, and thank you for being here. Okay, let's start with a few deep breaths together. Now that we are aligned with the entirety of the universe in its purest and most beautiful form, we can talk a bit about what's happening in the sky. So we are now in Scorpio season. I hope you've enjoyed your first day here. And the moon is in Capricorn, along with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. Welcome, welcome. All which are making a trine with Venus and Virgo. So that's lots of love energy. Love comes first. Love is shown and felt in really sensual and practical ways. Welcome. Hi. and that also means that love is what allows us to experience the greatest potential in the ways that those planets help us to be ourselves. So Saturn is fate and being on our true path, and our actions and their results. Jupiter's our expansive, our ability to expand and take up space and grow. And then Pluto is all about transformation, and the moon is our emotions and nurturing and love and sensitivity. And so Venus, the planet of love, is showing us that the pathway to expansion, transformation, a healthy emotional life, and being on our true path is all through love. Oh, Tracy Ashley 96. It's so good to have you on here. I'm so grateful that we can be creating this experience together. And someone, a lovely friend in the comments, just mentioned something about positivity, and that's the perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about with the moon, because the moon is in Capricorn until tomorrow night, or just about this time. Right now it's like 9:40 p.m. Eastern time, and so on Thursday, and tomorrow around 9:40 p.m. Friday Eastern time, the moon will be in Aquarius, and we get a couple days of an Aquarius moon. And I'm a little bit biased because I was born during an Aquarius moon, and so This is a special place in my heart. But I was just doing a little bit of reading up about Aquarius moon before this because I have my own ideas, but it's great to step outside of that. And what I was reading is that the Aquarius moon placement, for people who have that in their charts, or for everybody in the world. Excuse me, I'm having some stomach thing today. Maybe it's all of the squares happening. I don't know. But I promise I'm not drunk, except for on lime juice, because that's actually really good for the stomach. Recommend it. Key limes, because they have seeds and lots of minerals. Let's write it in. As I was saying, the Aquarius moon that we all get to experience when the moon is in Aquarius is a sense of optimism and hope. One thing that's different about the sun in Aquarius versus the moon in Aquarius is that the sun in Aquarius has a bit more emphasis on the ways that the ideals of Aquarius are achieved practically. And yes, please message me. I would love that. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for asking. So the sun in Aquarius might be more about, okay, how am I going to create the ideal world of my dreams and create a utopia for humanity by my work and by my actions and by how I live my daily life. And so with that placement, it's very much about a lot of hard work, and also, since Aquarius is a fixed sign, it can be very set in certain ideas, which can be great because it can help people to follow through with their humanitarian ideals. But it can also be tricky if they aren't seeing the whole picture, or if they're thinking too big picture and not right in front of themselves. So there's that balance to achieve. But with the moon in Aquarius, it brings a sort of softer, soft focus, more emotional aspect of that Aquarius idealism, which lends an optimism and a hopefulness about how life is great and beautiful, and how so much is possible for ourselves and for the world. And so as we have the next couple, from tomorrow night, from Friday night through Sunday, having the moon in Aquarius, hopefully we'll get to feel some of that hopefulness just naturally in the air coming to you, making you feel maybe a little bit lighthearted, a little bit more optimistic, making it a little bit easier to envision and expect a future that is closer to your ideal than maybe the world around you is today. And maybe that your ability to see and believe it will help you to shape it into that with your actions. And with that, the moon element of the personal touch and the softness combined with that idealism. So on a personal level, how can I be a humanitarian one-on-one, and just keeping forward and up and just looking forward to things. So that's what's happening in the next couple of days, but we still have one day with the moon in Capricorn, so you can enjoy all of that moon in Capricorn energy of taking care of business. And that could be in many different ways, whatever the business is for you, whether the business is actual business and work, or whether the business is something with a relationship or your health, or whatever it is. You'll be able to take care of business tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday you'll be able to enjoy feeling some optimism and some hopefulness with the moon. So, and the last thing I wanted to say, because we are entering Scorpio season, and I've been thinking a lot about Scorpio and the whole thing of diving deep and looking where people might be afraid to look, and how, excuse me, it's a little bit late, and how looking where people are afraid to look and going into those deep, dark, mysterious, hidden places, it can be illuminating and bring about transformation. But it also needs to be in balance, because just because something is mysterious and hidden doesn't necessarily mean it's always the time and place to delve into it. I am too. Thank you. That sounds, and have a beautiful night if I don't get to see you at the end of this live. But yeah, so diving deep is great, but like, for example, if you're somebody who is not an experienced swimmer and you are diving into very deep water and you don't have a scuba guide with you, it might not be the best time for you to dive as deep as possible and look in the shadow of the coral reef. Whereas for somebody else who has the tools and the experience, it might be the perfect time. And part of the reason I say that is because tonight I watched a scary movie, which I don't usually do, but my beautiful fiance is helping me expand my horizons in that way. And I was thinking as we were watching the movie, like, okay, there's a person in this movie who sees something mysterious and intriguing and hidden, and they dive in fully, and it doesn't really work out that great for them. I'm not going to tell you the name of the movie because I don't want to do any spoiler alerts, but they probably shouldn't have done that because they didn't have the tools they needed, and they didn't really look at the whole situation. So with Scorpio season, this being the first day of Scorpio season, I think it could be great to really use the moon placement as kind of like an anchor in our deep diving and transformation. So right now the moon is in Capricorn, sun is in Scorpio. So if we were to use the Capricorn values of, okay, let's be grounded, let's think this through, let's think about what we really want, let's think about all the factors, and be grounded about it and be balanced, because they can really balance on those cliff edges, those climbing Capricorns. Then that might be one way to know whether or not it's time to dive deep and be ready for a really intense transformation. And there might be times where it's like, okay, no, or yes. Then once we enter the moon in Aquarius, it'll be like, okay, using the Aquarius values of hopefulness and the well-being of everybody involved, and good communication and spirituality, meditation. So taking those ideas and then saying, okay, why don't I meditate first? Why don't I think about the well-being of all people involved, and think about what my most hoped for outcome is, and then decide, okay, having all that figured out, do I want to dive deep into this situation? And if the answer is yes, then great. And if it's no, then great. And it's just not necessarily the right time and place. It doesn't mean it never will be, but it's just being respectful and realistic of the power of the unknown and all that can happen in a transformation. And to, what's the word I'm trying to think of? There's a word I'm trying to think of about, like, not honor, but maybe it's respect. But sort of like, certain things are sacred and certain experiences are sacred, and require different levels of consciousness and strength. So as we enjoy this Scorpio season, I think it's good to remember that, and to use that power wisely, and to take good care of yourself and your loved ones, because that movie was really scary, folks, and I don't want that to happen to any of you. And if you want to know more about the movie or the title of the movie, you can message me and maybe you can guess what it is from this. But all that to say, let's pull some cards. I'm going to shuffle. You could take a few deep breaths with me if you would like. And we'll pull some cards for this new season we're in. Do you guys like scary movies? Do you recommend any? Anyone who sees this, please let me know what your favorites are, because I might be converting to a scary movie person. We'll see. See how I sleep tonight, and then I'll get back to you tomorrow. Oh, we had a jumper card. I gotta show you. Queen of Cups, she was here 2 days ago, and then the King of Cups was here 1 day ago. So, Master of Emotions, very Scorpio season card. Just like we were talking about. Respecting and honoring the sacredness of powerful emotions, and being able to move through them with balanced poise, not just being swept up. So I'll do another little shuffle, and then we'll do our 3 cards. Okay. Gonna cut the deck. Let's see what we have here. One, 2, and 3. Our first card for tonight. The 7 of Wands. I glanced at this card earlier and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to get that card, but here it is to say hello. And it's a card of strength and of being in the midst of something that's very challenging, but being in a strong position. So even though it might seem tense, it's okay. And there's plenty of strength and energy and fire to keep going and stay up there on your high ground. Stay high, people. Second card. Second card? Second card. Second card. Second card! Hey! Number 2 of Pentacles. And I love this card. You see there's this sign of infinity here in the middle of the card. And the figure is dancing a little jig. And they're balancing these 2 pentacles, while in the background there's these wavy, wavy, wavy oceans. But there's ships that are sailing them and able to stay afloat and balanced even though there's big waves. So the ships in the background are staying afloat on the big waves. The figure is dancing and juggling and balancing all of this earthly abundance and different things, and doing it with ease in a bright blue sky. So this card is all about keeping it moving and being able to go with the flow and to balance things, and to not be afraid of there being pulls in different directions, and to just welcome it all and keep juggling. So sort of like this card could seem like, oh, it's hard to fight, but it's okay because you're able to, or oh, there's a lot to balance, but it's okay because just keep dancing and you can do it. So these are both, and they're kind of in similar positions, these figures, and they're both about just like keep it moving, and you've got what you need to handle the heat and to handle all of the richness and the responsibility of life on Earth in a material world. Our third card is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a lovely, lovely queen. She's got her sunflower here, representing optimism and fertility. She's got her cat here, which represents sort of like her more instinctual and primal and just pure nature. She's got a crown with leaves on it, wand, and so it's about connection to the various parts of ourselves. And the Queen of Wands, she's welcoming, she's loving, she's hospitable, she's a great multitasker, and she makes people feel good. She makes people feel welcome and at home. And we just had our Sagittarius moon the other day. We thinking what fire placements are going on right now, and so we still have Mars and Aries, and I think maybe that's just a call of attention to using that fire energy, because we have the sun in a water sign, the moon is in an earth sign, and then we'll be in an air sign, but that there's still plenty of fiery energy to take care of, taking care of actions for ourselves and for others, and to believe in yourself. You can handle anything. Just keep balancing, keep dancing, keep fighting, and keep shining your warmth and turning towards love. So there you have it for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Let's take a deep breath together and chant Om before we say goodnight. Okay. I hope you enjoyed being here together. I definitely enjoyed being here with you, and I hope you have a beautiful day until tomorrow. Good night.